Hey, let me give you a word of encouragement today because I know I need it. So I want to talk to you about submarines. Now, I know, before you turn off the video, I'll tell you what. Did you know that each submarine was created to be most effective and most efficient at a certain depth with a certain amount of external pressure from the water around it? And when it's called design depth. It's the depth the submarine was designed to work best at. And at design depth, it can go about doing everything it needs to do with little effect from the pressure and stress. But as it goes deeper and the pressure increases, as the stress increases, it gets more difficult until it gets to the lowest rated level, which is called crush depth. And at that level, the submarine implodes. Did you know that you were also created to be most effective and most efficient at a certain depth of pressure and stress? I mean, we get this. There's nights we lay awake at night because of the stress. There's times where we are so fearful and because of the pressure from the outside of us. We have a unique design depth, each of us, and based on our temperament and personality and how we're put together, we respond to external pressure differently. I mean, some people, when things are out of control, they over-control the people and the things around them. Some people in their anxiety just get frantic, and some people, they just get depressed and shut down. We each have our design depth, but we also know that we face circumstances that increase the pressure from outside of us. Now, when we pray, and we're going through those times of stress and pressure, when we pray, how do we pray? We pray, God, get me out of here. God, if you could just make everything okay out there, I'd be okay in here. You know, the people who followed Jesus in the early church, and they faced a lot of things. They faced imprisonment for their faith and torture, but they also faced things like we do, like relational breakdown and financial worry and disease. What's fascinating about them is not what they faced, but how they faced it. You see, when they prayed, they didn't just pray, God, get me out. They prayed, God, strengthen me in the hard circumstances. You see, they didn't pray for the external circumstances to cease. They prayed for their internal strength to increase. They didn't pray for God to just decrease the pressure. They prayed for God to increase their peace. And it made all the difference. The application here is clear, but it's not easy. You see, a submarine, as it goes down in depth, below design depth, and things are getting difficult for it, what it needs to survive is that inside it needs a pressure that's equal or greater than the external stress. And if it has that greater amount of pressure inside, it can withstand even crush depth. And you, as you go through this season with increased pressure, increased stress and strain, what we need throughout this is an increased strength within us, a peace, that what is inside of us would be equal to or greater than what we're facing. And the Bible talks about this all the time. And the reason is because all throughout history, people have faced stress and pressure and dire circumstances. And so the Bible has something to say about this. In Psalm 9, it says this, the Lord is a stronghold in times of trouble. Isaiah 40, verse 29 says, He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. 2 Thessalonians 3:3, the Lord is faithful, and He will strengthen you, and He will protect you. In Psalm 112, it's speaking to people who are seeking God, and it says they will have no fear of bad news. That's some really good news right there. That because of God's peace inside of us, resourcing us, we have no fear of bad news. It continues, their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. Their hearts aren't shaken. Their hearts are secure, because they have a strength within them greater than the pressure outside of them. Their hearts are secure and they will have no fear. Tell me how that sounds right now. Psalm 138 verse 3 says, God, when I called to you, you answered me and you made me bold and strong-hearted. I mean, maybe that's what we need right now. When circumstances are breaking down around us, is that we pray for God to be strong within us. And 1 Chronicles 16:11 tells us, it says, seek the Lord and His strength. Seek His presence continually. And so right now, you might have more time than you ever had before. And instead of turning this off and going to a movie or just scrolling to something else, you have an opportunity right this second to seek God's presence. And in his presence is your true design depth. That was how you were made to operate, in his presence. And so in his presence, you are resourced. You are filled with a divine peace, with a divine power, with a heavenly resilience. And you can withstand whatever the world throws at you. I mean, and life comes with pressure. Life comes with hard circumstances. We get this. It's going to take us oftentimes deeper than we ever want to go. And my encouragement today is, don't just pray, God, change everything, but do ask him to intercede. But also with that, pray, God, change me. God, strengthen me. God, give me a peace that surpasses understanding. God, give me a strength that's from the throne of heaven. Because I can promise you this, it makes all the difference in the world how you go through something. And when all of hell is breaking loose around you, heaven can hold firm within you. There's nothing better than that. I love you, and I'm praying for you. I'll see you again.